Hey guys, it's Adam. I hope you're doing lovely. Welcome to Do You Watch
Hi.
Anime? It's a show where I sit down with a guest and ask them, Do you watch anime? And we go from there. And today, joining me is voice actor in such anime as Laid Back Camp and You Are Miss Servant, Gillian
Hi.
Lange. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good,
So
good.
heck yeah.
So, do you watch anime?
I mean, I guess. I guess I do. I
I
guess I watch this
guess.
little thing called anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do watch anime.
So, how did you get into anime?
Um, it was of course my childhood way
Mhm.
back when. But nah, I remember it was very early middle school. The friend group I had at the time, they were very much the alternative group. We were trying to be emo, and one of them told me about this show called Hitalia.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh
that's the
no.
that's the response I get a lot. And so they told me about the show called Hitalia,
Yeah.
and one of the things I learned about emo culture is anime, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Heck yeah, I wanna watch anime." And so it started with Hitalia, and
Okay.
then Black Butler, and
Okay.
then whenever I was on Netflix, I would just find whatever, and my parents were divorced, so it was 2 separate households, 2
Mhm.
different, kinds of parental supervision. So as
Mhm.
my mom, I had to be more careful with the anime I watched, but my dad, there wasn't much attention paid, and I
Yep.
remember one of the earliest shows I watched during that time was, like, Rosario Vampire, Chobits.
Ah, yes.
Yes, and
So good.
then I remember I tried watching Elfen Lied,
Oh
but the
no.
opening sequence terrified me, and I was like, "I have to
Yeah.
turn this off
Yeah.
right now before anyone catches me."
Yeah.
So I have yet to actually sit down and watch that show.
Mhm.
But that's where it mostly all started, and then it
Mhm.
started trickling into, like, different shows. I remember D. Gray Man was the first manga I read, so I started watching that show, and then, again, the parental supervision, where was it? I got into Berserk.
Oh my. Yep.
So yeah, that's how it all began.
Yeah, I
So
love
heck
that.
yeah. But yeah.
Oh my god. Hitalia, Berserk, same thing.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, total same thing, Um just as traumatizing. Um
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god. So what are some of your favorite anime?
Oh, no, yeah, definitely the number one I always think of is Princess Jellyfish. That's
Okay,
the
yeah,
one
hell yeah.
that has probably stuck along with me the longest, next to
Mhm.
Italia.
Yeah.
But that's the show that got me hooked on jellyfish.
Mhm.
For the longest time, I was like, if nothing else pans out well in my life, I want to become a marine biologist and study jellyfish.
Oh my god.
I fell in love with the manga, so Princess
Mhm.
Jellyfish, everything about it is like my number one top favorite anime. And then maybe it's heresy, but Hitalia. But that's because I've also been rewatching it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, they got away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm like, ooh, yikes. But I'm trying to think because
Mhm.
I often just go through routes of like rewatching stuff and this, that, and the other.
Mhm.
But definitely Kaiju number eight's up there. I
Hell
really
yeah.
enjoyed Kaiju number eight. Um,
Mhm.
and then what sucks is like with a lot of the stuff I do like, it doesn't even have an anime adaptation yet. Which crushes me because I'm
Yeah.
just sitting here twaddling my thumbs like, "So when are we gonna get this?"
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say those are probably, like, my top 3 at the moment, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you read manga.
Yes.
So what are some of your favorite manga?
Now let me get you started right
Okay,
there.
here we go.
Alright, so let me get you
Okay.
started right there. So definitely one of my top favorites is this series called Innocent by Shinichi Sakamoto,
Okay.
and that is about Charles Henry Sanson, who was a French executioner during the time of before and during the French Revolution, and he's the one who was in real life. Charles Henry Sanson was
Yeah.
is the one who executed King Louis and Marie Antoinette.
Oh shit.
So it is about his life, and you also meet a fictional character who's his sister. Her name is Marie Joseph Sanson, and I love her so much. But it's also her
Hmm.
as well. So definitely, but she's like a woman, and you know, uh 18th century France. I'm trying to remember all the dates, right? Because like history dates are weird when it comes to centuries and stuff. But in 18th century France, and she's trying to prove herself like, if a man can do it, I can do it too. So feminist icon.
Love it.
And then of course, as I mentioned, Princess Jellyfish, but the author of Princess Jellyfish, the mangaka, Akiko Higashimura, she
Hmm.
has this one series called Tokyo Tarareba Girls.
Yeah.
That one is absolutely adorable, super funny. I love Josei,
Hmm.
and that one's about this 30-year-old woman, and it's a little dated because the whole thing about that is she wants to get married before the 2020 Olympics. And of course, that never happened,
Yeah.
but it's still a really, really good read. It's really funny. Midlife crisis stuff, trying to find love at being middle age, whatever that means anymore.
Yeah. Literally.
Um, and then I really enjoy A Man and His Cat. I love A Man and
So
His
good.
Cat.
So good.
I have to like stop and pause to get a breath because I'm about to just lose my marbles right now.
Yeah.
And then like one that had an anime adaptation, but it never got like a season 2 or anything. It's this series called Merman in My Tub. It's just
Okay.
it's a little silly, goofy story and like an interesting like comic layout.
Hmm.
Literally about this high school student. He finds a mermaid. Dude stays in his tub, and he meets all these other like humanoid sea creatures along the way.
Hmm.
So I'd say like definitely those are also very top up there.
Yeah. Oh
So
my
heck
god, I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. Like
How did?
I'm a huge sucker for like Josei
Hmm.
and history,
Yeah.
and like when it comes to like the history aspect of it, like I mentioned,
Hmm.
there's Innocent, but Shinichi Sakamoto also has this manga that's being having an English translation. It's called hashtag DRCL, which
Okay.
is his own adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Oh.
and it's stunning. Shinichi
Huh.
Sakamoto's art is absolutely phenomenal, and it's stunning. And every time I look at it, my breath is just taken away. I love his artwork so much. Like
Hmm.
if I was able to commission him for a print, I drop that money
Yeah.
so fast.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But
I
no, I
love that.
definitely highly recommend.
Hmm.
So heck
Yeah.
yeah.
So when you're going to start reading a new series, is there any like kind of like it has to be like, is there any like points that it has to hit, or you're just like, ooh, this looks good, or?
Yeah, it definitely
Mhm.
goes along of, this looks good.
Yeah.
I have a really, really bad habit of reading the backs of manga, and if I like it enough, I buy it.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of volume ones sitting on my shelf right now.
Hmm.
So I just buy purely out of interest. Um, and it's hard because every time I go to Kinokuniya, I'm like, this all looks really, really good. Where
Hmm.
do I even start? So yeah. I know like that's how it was when I started reading The Summer Hikaru Died.
Oh, I just read the
Because
first volume. So good.
oh my gosh, because
Yeah.
oh my gosh, when I read it, I got it purely based off of I was interested in it already, but seeing the
Hmm.
online hype about it, I was like, I really want to know if this is like actually good.
Yeah.
And so read the first volume, left me gobsmacked
Yep.
because of the relationships in it. And I
Hmm.
remember a while back talking to someone on Instagram, and I brought up a certain aspect of it because before moving to Texas and the Dallas Fort Worth area, I grew up in a super duper rural town in central Illinois, like Amish, like there were the Amish,
Yeah.
and then my small hinky dinky town, um, and because it was like a very small town, in a way everyone knew each other, and uncomfortably somehow some way people knew each other's business,
Yep.
and that was the one thing. Like I know the whole Hikaru situation's crazy, that's freaky, but
Hmm.
what scared me was a certain conversation between a woman coming up to the protagonist and saying something that was really personal that no one really knew about, and I was like,
Mhm.
"That is freaky, that is very small town." The
Yep.
way just word travels and the way everyone suddenly knows everything about you, it's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, when I first read it, because I was like, "Ooh, BL? Absolutely."
Yeah!
And and I was like, "Ooh, it's coming out with an anime? Sick. Awesome." And then heard nothing but good things, and I started reading it, and I went, "Oh, oh my
Yeah.
god." Uh, the this shift between, like, this kind of on the edge of being gross body
Yeah.
horror to, like, just the simple slice of life. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and
Oh.
I feel like it balances itself out so
Mhm.
well too. Like,
Yeah.
at one moment, you're just like, "Ugh," but then, like, the next page you turn over and you're like, "Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Not bad."
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I also feel you on the a bunch of volume ones. I'm looking at my collection of volume ones.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'm like, huh, I should read those.
Yeah, and, like, right by my bed, I have volume 1 of Witch Hat Atelier because I'm like my friends around me have read
Let's
it, they're
go.
hyped up about it, hyped
Yep.
up about the anime, and I'm like, "Ooh, I really wanna read this."
Yep.
So it's just sitting there by my bed, and
Yep.
I'm gonna get to it
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, my partner and I, my partner, definitely, brings up Witch Hat Atelier anytime, we can. We like to spread the gospel of Witch Hat, the good word. But yeah, so good. Oh my god. Speaking of good art, oh,
Oh, no, yeah. From what I saw, I was
yeah.
like, "Oh, this is gorgeous," and that's one thing that draws me to, like, anime
Mhm.
and manga is definitely, like, the art style of it all.
Yeah.
Because 'cause I'm like I don't know. Maybe it was because I was an artsy fartsy kid when
Mhm.
I was, like, in my youth, um, but it's just like, if it grabs my eye, I'm gonna pick it up.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, which manga was it? Oh, I forget which manga it was, but I saw the cover, of it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take you because that cover is gorgeous." Or, like, online, I fell in love with, Green Yuri, I forget the whole long name of it
Oh,
right now,
yeah,
but
because it's
yeah.
like the guy she liked wasn't a guy at all.
Yeah, that's it, yeah, that's it, and I fell in love with that. I read, like, we were on our way to home from New York Comic Con, and I picked it up from, the Kinokuniya, booth
No,
there,
yeah.
and I read it, like, in, like, 40 minutes, and I was like, "Fuck, I want more
No,
now."
yeah, that one's definitely been on my list, but
Mhm.
what's held me off from buying it at Kinokuniya
Yeah.
is there's also a vinyl of, like, some of the music that they're selling as well,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "I can't spend my money like this. It's gonna have to be one or the other," because,
Yeah.
like, the vinyl record has a
Mhm.
lot of good, like, picks, and I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
stuff I listen to," and
Yeah.
so I'm like, "Stop,
Yeah.
look at our funds."
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, so good. So, moving into voice acting, you voice May in Laid Back Camp.
Heck yeah.
What was your reaction to getting cast in such an incredible show like Laid
Oh,
Back Camp?
so what happened was when I got the email for it, I had been
Mhm.
in training at, an escape room job I had, and it was like I had shortly gotten that job after
Yeah.
being fired from my corporate job and having a really bad falling out with my roommate at the
Mhm.
time. So I was just sitting at work doing this training, and then I got the email to be like, "Come in and record for this character," and I had to, like, stop because I was like, "No way." And I looked up and I'm like, "Hey, like, this might pose a little bit of an issue, but, um, I can't come in and work this day."
Yeah.
And so luckily, because I was in training, they were very understanding about it, but it had been a really, really rough few weeks already, like losing my job.
Mhm.
And I believe, yeah, at that time was, I, it had to have, yeah. Sorry, like the memories of like my fallout with my like previous roommate is very,
Mhm.
very fuzzy because it was
Yeah.
like in a sphere of like, oh no. Um, so having something like that happen, it lifted my spirits up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have a chance," because the first time I had been called in at Crunchy was in February,
Mhm.
and I had then been called in for Kaiju number 8, and I was super stoked about Kaiju number 8, like,
Yeah.
nonetheless. I was like, that was one show I was like, "I just wanna audition for it."
Yeah.
But then with Laid Back Camp, that session and that email, like, gave me a new sense of, like, "Oh my gosh, this is actually happening. We are actually following our dream in Texas right now."
Mhm.
And it was just sitting in that chair and turning over and looking at my team lead and being like, "Hey, this happened." And so it was just super exciting, and I like sort of felt like my veins run a little cold because I was like, the adrenaline started ramping up, and I don't think my body had enough time to catch up with it,
Yep.
and it was very surreal.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god. Yeah, I love Laid Back Camp so much. Like,
No,
oh,
yeah, and
it's
like I
just
read the manga.
yeah.
And like, yeah, I know, like, I don't know how much I can spoil. Like, I don't know if I can like spoil like what's not in the anime, but what's in the manga.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
am I able to?
We'll put a like an I'll put an asterisk, be like, skip to
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Skip, skip. When
Yeah.
I found out Hanpin was May's dog, I was so excited because I was like, "Oh my gosh, May has a little white dog.
Yep.
I have a little white dog. I am May."
Oh my god. Oh, I love
And
it.
so I was like, oh my gosh, when I read that in the manga, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we got a dog. Finally a character that has a little white dog like my halo.
Oh.
My halo."
Oh, I love it. So, how would you describe Laid Back Camp to someone who hasn't heard of it?
Oh my gosh, Laid Back
Yeah.
Camp, definitely if you're looking for, like, the chill lo-fi vibes,
Mhm.
maybe sitting by a campfire, making a s'more,
Yep.
crickets, it's late at night. It is so chill and funny too. Like,
Yeah.
if you want something that's chill, lo-fi, but also has, like, a nice splash of comedy, Laid Back
Mhm.
Camp is perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. It
Mhm.
was so good,
Oh, yeah.
and, like, when I got cast in it, I was also having a period of, like, I wasn't watching as much anime,
Mhm.
and so, of course, when I saw that email, I was like, "We gotta do our research." I was like, "Time to put on the glasses, Jillian,
Yep.
you gotta watch."
Yeah. I binged it earlier this year. And I was like, where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
Like, this is just so nice and fluffy and just, oh, it's just so nice. And it's
Yeah,
just
and, like, if there's one thing about anime that I've told my roommate about this
mhm,
because he's also a voice actor at Crunchyroll as well, and he watches a lot more anime than I do.
mhm.
One of the things that stresses me out about TV shows is drama and tension and a romance. And what sucks is I'm a sucker for all those. So Laid Back Camp helps me keep that out of sight. I just I can't. I don't know what it is about those
Mhm.
three that makes me love it and hate it at the same time. Because I literally feel myself boiling with anger when certain things happen. I'm like, I can't do this mentally right now. Be gone. And it sucks because ultimately, that's what most shows are. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to get over this.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's a good show to just kind of put on and turn your brain off,
For
chill.
real.
Yeah, and the food. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, the
Yep.
food.
Yep. There's the fact that there's a literal episode in season 3 called food porn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm always hungry.
Yep. Yep.
Serves me.
Especially for anime food.
For real.
Oh my god. So, speaking of dramatic,
Mhm.
recently in your You Are Miss Servant, you had a bit of a dramatic little scene.
I
How
did.
was that as an actor?
Uh, for me,
Yeah.
with a lot of the shows I'm in, I do watch the Japanese ahead of time so I can get a general sense of like, okay, what's going on.
Mhm.
And when I was watching episode 11 of Your Miss Servant and I saw that scene come up, before I even went into record, I knew what my emotions were going into it.
Mhm.
Because I often have to give myself that kind of pep talk. There
Mhm.
have been times, and even now, like, while I might not have been going through a situation Yuki has been going through, I'm very open about it. I struggle a lot with my mental health. Um and and like I have ADHD, so that on top of the mental health and the depression and the anxiety, it often crushes itself together. And it sucks.
Mhm.
And there have been situations in the past where I'm not allowed to cry. Because if I cry, I'm being too dramatic. I'm making something a bigger deal than what it really is.
Mhm.
And so I've and things like that. I haven't been allowed to cry, but the older I get, it's become more important to me that if I need to cry, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
So when Naka was giving that little talk to Yuki, while I had the voice going on, I wanted to like be me giving that,
Mhm.
cuz I don't feel like people often hear it enough. Um and it's something, like I said, I'm 25 and I'm just now coming to learn that it's okay to cry. Um and sometimes if you have a big pit of pain and you don't know how to let it out, crying might help you.
Mhm.
Um so that scene was I am very grateful for Sean for giving me the opportunity to just not only voice Naka, but allowing me to be a little more vulnerable in the booth when it came to that,
Mhm.
because it is something like very serious for me,
Mhm.
and I don't feel like people hear it enough that it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in a world we're in today, we do have to try to like be braver than what we actually are.
Mhm.
And that it being doing stuff like that it's a lot of mental weight on you. And so when you feel like you're about to break, let the dam break and just let it out,
Yeah.
because if it goes any longer, you don't know what might happen.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that
Exactly.
scene was very meaningful for me to record.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so yeah, I went into it and I just wanted to present it as if I was also talking to myself and
Mhm.
also talking to like everyone. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of had the same kind of conversation like a week ago in another interview. And I think it's just so important to talk about these subjects, especially right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I you did a fantastic job in that scene,
Thank
and
you.
yeah, yeah, it
Thank
was
you.
fantastic, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, and I was also just sitting twiddling my thumbs because like, out of everything I've recorded at Crunchyroll,
Mhm.
that is by far one of my favorite scenes I have ever recorded, just because of how
Mhm.
much it means to me.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I love that.
Mhm.
So, how did you originally get into acting? There we go.
Oh no, what's nuts is at a family holiday,
Yeah.
I actually had an aunt be like, "I never knew you acted." I've actually been acting since I was a kid, um, ever since elementary school.
Mhm.
So, but no, yeah, I started acting in elementary school.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure my mom put me in some classes when I was in like 5th grade or so, and then I did my first and only musical, Seussical the Musical Junior in 5th grade
Hell yeah.
ensemble. Whose hair we are. But then I started taking acting classes in middle school.
Mhm.
But in my hometown, like between Chicago and St. Louis, in Sullivan, there's this little theater on the square. It's the only professional theater in between those two cities in the state of Illinois. They had acting classes. And then after a year I took them and I was taking them the next year, I noticed it was just a lot of repeat stuff, and I was like, I can't do that. If I'm not learning anything new, what am I learning at all? So I stopped taking acting classes, and then when I got into high school, I did high school theater. It was fun at first.
Yeah.
But then what happened was we were writing our own shows, and while the shows had good meanings behind it, what kept happening was new people would join and we'd have to rewrite the script to include all these new characters.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and then my mom was like, because I had talked to my mom about this a while ago. She was like, it was good like your first year. The second year is when I noticed it started getting really rough and I didn't understand the story. And apparently the third year when I was not in it. If anyone from Sullivan sees this, I'm sure it probably got better.
Yeah.
But yeah. But then when I got into college, even though I was doing a degree that isn't even related to really theater, depending on what route you took with it, I tried to do one show a semester so I could still keep acting, and then the pandemic hit. And everything got messed up for me, but then I got into voice acting. So yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, when the pandemic was first happening, what happened was I had actually auditioned for Clue, and I got a callback for Miss White, and I worked so hard on that callback audition that when I got the email I wasn't cast, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset.
Yeah.
But then the next day we got an email that classes are postponed and online for the next 2 weeks. And then of course that divulged into 1 to 2, 3-ish years. So yeah.
Yeah. What was kind of the push to go the voice acting route?
So it actually stems back in middle school when I was getting into anime.
Okay.
Because I would just watch English dubs because I'm like, if I'm watching anime, I want to know what everyone is saying.
It's true.
And I like, at the rate subtitles go, I'm like, I need to hone in.
Oh, story of my life.
So when I was listening to English dubs, I was like, oh, I want to do that one day. And unfortunately, when I was in middle school, high school, that really couldn't come to fruition. My family just didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic hit and I got a microphone for work and stuff, I was like, oh, wait a minute. We can actually start voice acting. Let's go. So it was just crazy. I had one, and I even remember vividly writing about how I wanted to be a voice actor when I was in high school. But then I also wanted to do a lot of other jobs as well as being a voice actor, like being a photographer and being a historian and being an artist. And I was like, 6 jobs is way too much.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Hi, I'm Steve Yurko.
And I'm Tara Sands. Now available from Maji Media is our new podcast, 4Kids Flashback. 4Kids is the company who brought you the English dub of Pokemon in the late 90s and so many other shows like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Shaman King, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kirby, the infamous One Piece dub, and so many more.
We'll be talking to the people who worked at 4Kids. Actors, directors, writers, editors, producers, engineers, you get the point. And hopefully get the answers to questions both you and I have about the company.
I actually worked there as a voice actor on some of the shows.
And I was a kid watching the shows and remember way more than Tara does.
And thank God for that. Steve is actually a professional storyboard artist, which gives some really unique insights into anime and animation. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. That's the number 4 Kids Flashback.
Welcome to the Patreon shout-out portion of today's episode. It's a part of the show where I give my patrons a shout-out. So, here we go. Thank you to Ray, Hayden, Bunny, Mikey, Blythe, Brooke, Buff Boy, Gio, and Keith. Again, thank you so much to my patrons. If you want to support the show and get exclusives like Patreon exclusive videos, BTS clips, guest teases, and even the episode a day early, thank you again to everyone who is subscribed to the Patreon. It really helps the show keep going, and if you'd like to subscribe, the link will be down the description below. Hey guys, I just want to take a break from the episode and talk to you guys about a incredible convention debuting this year. OzokuCon runs from August 29th to 31st and is located in Port Huron, Michigan. Meet Griffin Burns, John Gramillion, Walter Jones, Naya Marino, and Caleb Young, plus many more, as well as some friends of the podcast like Ben Stegmeyer and Mauricio T. Segura. This convention is going to be jam-packed with some amazing panels, a nearly 24-hour arcade courtesy of Classics and Wadoka, and gaming tournaments running all weekend long thanks to Grand Finals Entertainment. Plus, Friday and Saturday nights, there are going to be some great events happening, like the live production of Rocky Horror Picture Show on Friday and a rave on Saturday. So to learn more, grab your tickets at ozokukon.com, and I hope to see you there. Now, back to the episode. Oh my god. So what was kind of the push to move to Texas?
I'm not gonna lie, definitely like the studios and Crunchyroll and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the anime is here. You have a lot of studios that do anime here. I know out in LA you've got Bang Zoom, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a whole lot of other studios except for Bang Zoom.
Yeah.
But like down here, you have Sound Cadence, you have Crunchyroll, you have Okatron. Like a lot of anime stuff is in like the DFW area.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll take my plunge. And so at the time I was working at a brewery as like a bartender, and luckily they paid well above a living wage. So I was able to like save enough money for like my moving costs and like my apartment. So, and then my ex-friend at the time was going to college down here. And so that's when we were like, let's go together. So it was like, sweet, we're coming down here together, and I was like, I might as well just get her done. Get her done. But it also just, my hometown was it was a little suffocating.
Oh yeah.
Like
I grew up in a town of 500. I understand.
Yeah. And my mom, I guess, knew from like when I was younger, she just knew like small town Illinois was not meant for me. It was not meant for my sister. She wanted us to get out of our hometown.
Yep.
And so even though Texas is very far from Illinois, my mom was very supportive of it. She had her own anxieties about it, but I'm very grateful she let me go.
Yeah.
Oh, like I just didn't want to be in Illinois forever. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to like get outside of the state. And I felt like over a year ago that was a good time. I saved enough money. I worked really hard.
Yeah.
So,
Love that. Yeah. So moving back into anime, what is it about Kaiju number 8 that makes it one of your favorites?
I really like fighting in action. Even though I was going on and on about like josei and romance and tension and drama, surprisingly, I actually really, really love action and comedy.
Hell yeah.
And Kaiju number 8 is that whole thing combined. And I fell in love with Kafka as a character. I love him. Oh my god, I love my old man.
Yeah.
I love my old man. But then when it comes to like my actual favorite character, it's Kikoru. Kikoru's my favorite character. So, oh my gosh, I remember when I got the audition.
Yeah.
All I cared about was auditioning for Kikoru. That was it. That's all I wanted to do. I'm so happy it was Abigail, to be honest. Like, I'm so happy it's Abigail. Because Abigail is so good. Oh my gosh. And no, the action, the comedy, and the storyline. I still, even though like I have like almost all the manga, I still gotta like speed read everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm like trying to get through. Because like I said, I was buying them as they came, and I'm still like a slow reader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, yeah.
Oh, so good. It literally.
It's
So yeah. Usually, I'm like, I like this that was my favorite romance. This romance was my favorite anime of the year because I like romance. But every single time, I'm just like, it's kaiju.
It is.
It's kaiju. I like the man that pees out his nipples. Like,
no, for real. When I first was reading Kaiju number 8, I was actually going on a work trip with my coworkers I worked at the brewery with.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the back of my manager's car reading it, and I turned to the page of that scene of Kafka, and I'm like, they're all gonna think I'm a freak. Oh no. But I kept reading because I'm like, this is funny as hell.
Yeah. 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 It was one of the first shonen in a very long time that made me do the let's go, like,
no, for real.
Yeah, like, oh my god, like, oh, so good. And the world, like, as the first scene where the traffic light turns to a kaiju light, I was like,
my gosh,
I'm in. I am so in. Sign me up.
For real.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, recording for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was also when I was working at my sucky corporate job. And I lied to them. I lied to my corporate job saying I had an appointment to go to. Psych, I got an appointment to save my mom.
Oh my god. How
and just like oh my gosh, continue.
I was gonna say, like, how was your reaction to the email?
Again, it was very similar almost to when I got the email from May.
Yeah.
But with this one, seeing how long this session was for, I was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be recording for an hour doing what? Because at this time, the show wasn't airing, and I was very excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the second time ever I'm being called into Crunchyroll, and I'm working on Kaiju number 8, and I'm like sitting at my desk panicking like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. No way. I don't like this job already. What am I going to say to my bosses?
Yeah.
And with my coworkers I told them the truth because they were really, really chill. And they were like, just say you have an appointment, to be honest. Just say you have an appointment. So that's what I did. I was like, hey, I have an appointment. I'm going to be out for a while, but I will be right back. And so I left, went to record, and just being, oh my gosh, sitting in that booth, I was so excited. And it was also my first time working with Sean. Because I had taken a class with Sean, so I already knew him already. And because I like going to, like, when I can, I like going to shows that my friends are in when it comes to theater in the DFW area. And I had met Sean. I never like thoroughly introduced myself to him, but I remember I complimented him on a shirt he was wearing because I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And then I had met him in a class. So this is my first time actually like working with Sean. And being that little girl, I knew exactly who she was because I was caught up enough at the manga with the time to know she comes back. And being able to listen to the music, the down, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I am seeing this before it's ever aired. And I was just a ball of excitement because the first day I went to ever record at Crunchyroll in February of last year, that first day I had a session was the day I got the auditions for Kaiju number 8. So like,
shit.
I was like, brace for impact, everyone. Oh my gosh, this is actually happening.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
It was insane.
That's insane. Yeah.
And then I remember driving back to my crappy corporate job, and I'm like, yep, I want to voice act. I don't want to do this for much longer. Yeah. And then I got fired like a few weeks later.
Love that.
It works.
Yep. I I understand I don't want to do this for the rest of my life with the
Yeah.
corporate drive because
And like
yeah.
it sucks because as a kid I've always been a creative person.
Mhm.
As a kid, I've always enjoyed acting.
Mhm.
And I told my mom I'm going to be an actor, and I remember it had to have been when I was in school. I remember walking in on my mom. She was like watching the Oscars, and I was like, "What you watching this for?" She's like, "I'm just preparing myself for one day when you go up there." And I was like, "Joanne, knock it
Oh my
off,
god.
girl, you got me." And I've just been someone who's really creative. I wanted to be an animator, but I
Mhm.
never really had the opportunity to do much animation,
Mhm.
which sort of sucked. But I tried to do stop motion when I could with like little things I had around my house. And so I ultimately went into history because I was like, it's gonna be maybe a little more stable. I like old stuff anyway. Let's rock and roll with history. But then it's during the pandemic that it reignited my creative juices, and I was like, I don't want a conventional 9-to-5 job.
Mhm.
I want to perform. I
Yeah.
want to do and be creative and be silly and not be embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
Whereas at a 9-to-5, I just don't want to sit at a desk all day. And that's what was happening at the corporate job.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Can't do it.
No, I've tried my best. I can't do it. It's actually funny. I had like 4 or 5 episodes recorded before I got laid off from my corporate job. And I was launching like that Saturday, the Monday I got laid off, and I was like, cool, going full into this. And yep, I was like, well, you know, but yeah, I was like, I need to be on my feet or doing something with my brain that isn't just
Yeah.
at a computer. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's very
Yeah.
much what the corporate job was. And what sucked was the corporate job. I ended up being a personality hire, come to find out, like straight up
Oh,
from my boss's mouth. And then like my whole job was writing based. And it was dealing with historical documents,
okay.
and doing research on them. I worked at a museum for 3 years in collections, handling artifacts, doing condition reports, writing and doing research about said artifacts. And this woman comes to tell me that my writing is awful and that I'm a
Wow.
personality hire. And then, like, first 3 weeks I was working there, I wasn't even doing my job. They had me doing stuff I wasn't even hired for.
Ooh, red flag. Yep.
And then, like, it was just a whirlwind. And then they proceeded to tell me when they were letting me go was they thought my very warm personality would have, like, transferred over to the skill set or something. And that they expected I would have learned how to write better faster. When it's like, literally, the only thing this woman is changing in my entire paragraph is one word. What do you mean my writing is bad?
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Much like anime, I'm done with the corporate world. I'm
Yeah.
here to live in my best life.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus. Oh my god. That's so annoying.
Very annoying.
Yeah. Goodness. So so going from fan of anime to voice actor in anime, how has that relationship with the medium changed?
I definitely say, like, being a voice actor in it, I do have a new perspective on on how English dubbing works.
Mhm.
So I was talking to a coworker today at one of my other jobs, and they were
Mhm.
telling me how, like, they just don't enjoy dub. They think dub sucks. But from my perspective, I'm very much in the aspect of there's a lot of talented people coming through.
Mhm.
Um, you might have encountered a really crappy dub in the past. The industry is very different from what it was years ago. Um, like with the people I work with and that are my friends, like, a lot of us do theater. A lot of us have an acting background already.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, from like what I hear, I can hear that performance because I know these people. I've seen them work, and I have an idea of how their performances are. Whereas before I was even in it, I would just listen. I'd be like, oh, this is nice. This is nice.
Yep.
But I also just didn't think much about what all goes into an English dub already for an anime. So being a part of the industry, it's definitely changed how I see things, but I still enjoy it nonetheless.
Yeah. That all English dubs are bad. I'm like,
it like I've been trying to do dating apps for a while.
yeah.
And with one of them, I straight up say, like, you think the sub/dub debate is stupid. We agree that we think this is stupid.
Yeah.
And the amount of people I have had say, have you heard the Squid Games dub? Actually, dub is I think the sub is superior. I'm like, congratulations. You failed the first question.
Yeah,
and
literally.
You failed the first quiz. What do you think? You literally see my job as freelance voice actor.
Yep.
Take a shot at what I do and why that's actually a really important question.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It stresses me out.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. And it's like, even back in like when we were kids, like I still give grace to those voice actors and directors because they were doing it for the first time, right?
Yeah.
So like,
and it's like it was still a new thing that was like coming into fruition.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, don't hate on it. This is a period of its time. This is let it be.
Exactly. Like I love the I think it's the ocean dub of Sailor Moon. I love it.
Ooh.
Is it the best? No.
Yeah.
But it's childhood memories. Luna will always be British to me.
Yeah.
But I think we have to take it as, you know, it was of the time, especially for directors as well. Imagine voice directing, not knowing what, you know, is happening. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god. Like, I heard.
And then I feel like
with
some people, the reason why they might not like it is because like you've got 4 kids. You know, the characters, they don't have Japanese names. They're all in English.
Yeah.
Everything is in English. You want this donut?
Yep. You want this donut?
Yeah. Yep. You want this donut? And it's like, it's not like that anymore, y'all. It's not like that. And then like when people are like, oh, the writing is so woke. And here's the thing. If they wanted a literal translation, it would not make sense at all.
Nope.
And then when it came to like what we were recording for in Your Miss Servant, there's a line that said about, oh, I thought you were cousins. That line was something completely different. Yeah. And if people do not want changes made to it, I feel like you're going to be left very uncomfortable and very confused. So, hey, accept it for what it is. Change. Sometimes when we're in the booth, there's like certain things that got to get switched up. And that's what I gotta say. Don't come at me. Don't come at me, y'all. But that's the truth.
Yep. Oh my god.
I remember like when it came to like that scene in Your Miss Servant, and I like read it, I was like, oh, it was just a very odd thing to say. So that's why we changed it for it to like be like, I mean, like cousins, right? Like your cousins after all, right?
Yeah.
It was. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, just. It's anime. It's fine.
It's anime. For real. It's just anime. Let it go. It's fine. We have seen much weirder stuff happen.
Yep.
This shouldn't even be
this is
the
normal.
biggest thing on your mind. This is normal.
Yep. Oh, God. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Just don't. Just look over it. It's fine. Yep.
Pretend like it never even happened. Whoa.
So, what are some of your favorite romance anime?
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I actually have to like dig through because
Mhm.
it's like, do you mind if I pull up my Crunchyroll app real quick?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is not sponsored.
No,
This
the
is not
amount of
sponsored. Get
the
this
amount of
pulled
people who
up.
have done the same thing or pulled up my anime list.
See, like, what? That sucks. Yeah, my anime list, I don't keep that. I just have faith in my memory.
Yeah,
I have to
same
like
here.
pull it up.
Yeah, they
Oh,
they
I
also
really did like True Beauty. Shout out to Rebecca. Fantastic.
Yep.
I was literally hyping about this show to my
So good.
coworker today because
Yep.
when I showed them that, like, all the shows I had been in so far at that point, they were
Mhm.
like, "You were in True Beauty?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Who were you?" I was like, "Episode 7, I have this little girl that laughed mischievously."
Yep.
Because they were losers and they didn't get their stamps filled out in time. So I took the last stuffy. But yeah, I really enjoyed True Beauty. That was a
Yep.
good one.
That was
But
a
let me see
really
what
good
I'm
one.
getting pulled up. Let me see what I got all pulled up.
Yep.
Cause I also save a lot of anime.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I have a lot. Wow.
Yeah. I
Oh,
was
goodness
listening to
gracious.
the OP earlier today and I was like, I'm still listening to this. This is so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say definitely probably, even though the anime is Rosario Vampire, it's very sentimental to me in my childhood. And, like, my sister who doesn't watch anime, she
Yeah.
loves Rosario Vampire. She's like, if there's one anime I really do enjoy, it's that. And I'm trying to find it. Oh my gosh. Because I have so much saved and
Yep.
I struggle
And
watching it all.
yep.
Here's-
Oh,
It might not be romance,
okay.
but the main character confesses his love at the very end. It's Fairy Ranmaru. That
Okay.
show. Let me pull it up.
Yeah.
This show does not have enough hype. And
Okay.
at the time when I first watched it, not a lot of people were talking about it, and I wholeheartedly was really depressed that it did not get an anime dub. But this show, I don't know if it'll like load, but it's called
Yeah.
Fairy Ranmaru.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. I loved it. It's a little cheesy,
Yeah.
but you know what? You have these guys who are fairies trying to help people with their lives, whether it be with romance. But yeah, the main character Ranmaru, he loves someone. I'm not gonna spoil it because I'm gonna make everyone watch it. He loves someone,
Yeah.
but that's for you to find out who he loves.
Yep.
And then yeah, because. I'm just trying to think of like everything because I also know like I have. Can I talk about yaoi?
Yeah, of course.
Let me talk about some yaoi real quick.
Yeah, yaoi is the best. Okay.
Cherry Magic rocked,
Yes.
and
Thank you.
I'm totally not saying that because my roommate voices one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So like Kurosawa, Dio Garner, y'all should follow them.
Yeah.
Shameless promo
Mm-hmm.
for my roommate, but Cherry Magic was really good, and
Yeah.
like I enjoyed that one, and then this also goes into like it's just a lot of stuff I enjoy that doesn't even have an anime adaptation.
Yeah.
It's a series called oh my gosh, let me pull it up because I'm now like blanking because I think it might also be called Innocent, but it might be called something else.
Okay.
And so I gotta pull it up. Oh my gosh. Are you cool if I take a quick step out to look at my library?
Yeah, of course.
I'll be right back. I gotta
Yeah.
look at my library. Oh my gosh, my headphones are wrapped around me. That's not cool. What the heck? Oh
Oh my
let's see, what do I got? I'm back with examples.
Oh my god. I love it.
I gotta put the headphones back on. Give me a moment. I'm so sorry.
Oh, good.
I got so much. Here we go. Let me hit you with the first one.
Oh, boy.
First one. Jealousy.
Okay.
You want angst?
Oh
You
boy.
want yakuza?
Yeah.
You
Okay.
want old men falling in love again?
We love old man yaoi. Yep.
5 volumes. Fantastic.
Oof.
I love this series.
Yep.
Yeah. Would you like for me to read the back for you?
Absolutely.
So, Yuichi Rogi is in a bind, both literally and figuratively, when he meets Akitora Oyamato, the Yakuza head who's come to collect a debt from Yuichi's lover. Instantly smitten, Yuichi concocts dubious and often dangerous schemes to get closer to the man, but his lies come at a very heavy price, one he may regret having to pay for: Akitora's affection. It's so good. It's so good. And then like with the first volume cover compared to the last volume.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We've gotten like away from the anime. Now we're talking about
That's
Yellow.
perfectly fine.
Like, oh my gosh. That series had me in a whirlwind and it had me clutching at my heart. My next favorite.
Yeah.
And this one has a few anime shorts that are about 3 minutes long, but I think there's really like a total of like 3 or 5 on YouTube, but it's all in Japanese. But if it were to get an anime adaptation, I would be super happy. It's called Manly Appetites, 3 volumes. This one says one true pairing, food and boys love.
Hell yeah.
Minagishi is a successful salaryman respected by his colleagues, but he's got an insatiable desire at the office. He loves feeding his grumpy coworker Otsu. But is Otsu as hungry as he is? A sweet and savory BL office comedy.
Aww.
It's super, super cute. I recommend this one. It's so adorable.
Yeah.
And then go for it, Nakamura.
Yes.
This is a good one. And I'm super excited for the anime. And then one, surprisingly, people don't really talk about as much. When I saw there was a lot of hype for it when it first came out, but it's like died off. I Want to Be a Wall.
Okay. That's
this
a name.
One, huh?
What a title.
No, and this one I see myself very much in. And I would love the opportunity, like if this got an anime adaptation, I want to audition for it because the main character reminds me a lot of myself. But if you'd like for me to read the back.
Yes, absolutely.
It says, any love story aficionado will say the key to a successful couple is intense desire for one another. But what if the characters in question are an asexual woman with a passion for boys' love stories and a gay man whose heart forever belongs to his oblivious childhood friend? Although romance will never be in the cards for newlyweds Yuriko and Garuta, the bond blossoming between them promises to be a wonderful relationship, the likes of which neither has ever experienced before.
Huh.
So, as someone who's ace and seeing that representation in that, I'm like, rock on.
Yeah, because we love that.
I've been literally on a hunt trying to find manga series that have ace representation, and I'm happy to see it in something like that. And then I have another manga. Are you cool if I step out and grab that real quick?
Yeah, totally.
I will be right back.
Yeah.
I'm still slowly getting through this one.
Yeah.
But this one is called Is Love the Answer?
Okay. I think I've heard of that. This sounds familiar.
No, yeah. So this one's more about the self-discovery aspect of it all. Okay, is there really something wrong with me or is this normal?
Yeah.
And when I brought this to work when I worked at the escape room, one of my coworkers turned over in their chair and was like, "Gillian, are you also ace?" And I'm like, maybe. What gave it away?
Yeah.
But those are my recommendations for BL. But then if you're ace and looking for representation, some ace rep in there as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we love that because it doesn't get enough rep.
Oh no, yeah. And then it's one of those things where it's does everyone hate me because I'm ace? I hope not.
Yeah, one of my friends is ace, and I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my god. I love the little book tour. That was
Thank you for letting me do that. I feel like it slightly got off track, but then it was talking about you gave me the go, and I was like, let's go.
Yep. I love it.
So heck yeah.
So good. My favorite romance manga is Sign of Affection.
Oh, that one is so good.
Yeah, it got recommended to me on TikTok, and I was like, "Ooh, I like this." And it's about
Yeah.
adults, and I was like, "Sick, we love that." And then I started reading it, and I was, "Oh no, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen." and then I also love how in the manga they interpret sign language where
Oh
it's
no, yeah.
where it's like different font and like different speech bubbles, and I was like, "That's so goddamn cool."
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
love
still
it.
gotta read it. I watched a
Yeah.
few clips here and there on TikTok and like on like Twitter and everything. But
Yeah.
I just need to sit down and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like full on watch it and read
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It is so good. So good. Yeah. And yeah, I'm looking at my shelf right now. I'm like, oh, there's so much.
Yeah, that's how I feel whenever I like look at my little collection. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, where did
Yeah.
it even begin?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I still have to. So the first manga I ever started collecting, like when I got back into everything, was Komi. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, and I am on volume 31.
Oh
Uh,
dang.
I have an entire like kind of shelf area just Komi.
No,
Um,
that's how I have it for Princess Jellyfish.
Yeah.
Because it's just this is the jellyfish shelf, and that is nothing more.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's gonna soon enough. It's gonna be a Witch Hat Atelier shelf. I know
Oh,
it.
nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because right now it's Witch Hat, it's Kase Song in the Morning Glories, and then some Nagatoro. I don't know why I have Nagatoro. And it's random volumes as well. It's like 15 and like 9. I'm like, why? Yeah, and then I have my shonen shelf, which is, shonen.
Yeah.
And I really only get those when I like the cover because I can just read it on
Oh
the app.
yeah.
So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Heck
And
yeah.
then I have my whole romance shelf is just like Sign of Affection, Horimiya. What else? Oh, and Uzuki-chan wants to hang out. We don't talk about that one.
No. You're cool.
Yep. And then I have the Rent a Girlfriend shrine. We also don't talk about
nice.
that. Yep.
Nice. See,
Yeah.
like that's how I also have my manga set up. Like I have
Mhm.
my boys love,
Yep.
and then I have like the 1 volume shelf.
Yep.
I've got my favorites shelf.
Yep.
I've got the Kaiju number 8 little shrine shelf going on there.
Yep.
It's all very laid out in a
Mm-hmm.
specific way.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually a new shelf. The old one broke, like full on just.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. That was
sucked.
yeah, that was not fun. It literally I was going to sit down to watch because we were making our friend watch Freerun. And I was going to sit down. I was like, okay, breakfast is done. I can sit down. And I was like, I'm going to cry.
No.
Yep. I was like, well, great start to the day. But yeah, thankfully I got
No,
a new one.
it looks
but yeah.
really, really good.
I know.
I'm like, that's snazzy.
Yeah.
That's chic.
Yeah. Thank you, IKEA. Oh my god. So before we go, do you have any advice for voice actors wanting to get into voice acting?
Just do it. That's like literally if you're on the fence and you're not sure, how are you ever going to know if you just don't give it a shot?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes like you just gotta like try it out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that very lightly. Don't do anything else that you just want to willingly try out, y'all.
Yeah.
But like if you're wanting to get into voiceover, give it a shot. If you got like a microphone at home, test the waters. Go on to
Mhm.
casting call club, give it audition, get a feel for it. Like one of the things I recently saw a TikTok a while back. Someone had made about, so you want to be a voice actor, here's how you get into it. And I went to read the comments and someone said, I'm really shy, but I really want to get into voice acting. And someone replied to them saying, well, don't get into voice acting because you actually have to be really talkative with people. And I'm like, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
No.
If you want to get into voice acting, just do it. You can, it takes a while. If you're shy, it's going to take a while to open up. Because I remember when I first started voice acting, I was really anxious about the stuff I was auditioning for. I didn't know if it sounded good or not, but I just wanted to try it out. And I listened to my old auditions, and I see how much growth I have. And when I first started, I was shy. I had only done stage acting. I had a USB mic, and I was living with my parents, so there was an echo in my auditions. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, it was in a closet. It was under a blanket. It might have not been the best quality microphone, but just give it a shot.
Yeah.
I know I keep saying it, but you just got to try it out. And if you like it, you like it. And you can grow from that. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's just how I am. I'm just... go for it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
Just do it for real, because then eventually you're going to like find more avenues on it, like how to upgrade your setup, how to like use different programming systems, how to edit your software. You take classes, you gain a larger perspective on how to audition, a larger idea on how to perform. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Like, literally come April, I'll have been voice acting for 5 years, and I just started dubbing an anime almost a year ago.
Yeah.
It takes time. And I guess that's one thing I also want to say is be okay with patience. Be okay with a lot of no's. Because the biggest job, you'll hear it over and over again, the biggest job is auditioning.
Yeah.
And with that, you're gonna get a lot of rejections. You're gonna get a lot of more no's. Then you're gonna get a lot of yeses. And you gotta be cool with that. Send and forget. Life is gonna go on. You'd be surprised how many times I've gotten an email from something and I've completely forgotten I've ever auditioned for it. And I'm like, what is this? What is this for?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I auditioned for that last month. So yeah. Give it a shot. Go with the flow. Be okay with a lot of no's, because eventually you are going to get a yes. And I'm very much of the mindset that anyone can be a voice actor. Take your time. Take your time. Put your efforts into it. You just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Perfect.
Because I get really irky when people are like, you can't be a voice actor. And I'm like, actually, anyone can be a voice actor. Let them have a shot. That's why I'm also someone who I'm very much for like open auditions at like conventions and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Because I also don't know what like the background of everyone else is. For a lot of people, that might be their first time ever voice acting and doing an audition. Because back home, I don't know what their situation is like. Maybe this is something they've always wanted to do, but they've never had an opportunity to do it. And this is their chance to finally give it a shot. And if they like it, they can get an idea of what all they need to like get to fully get started in being a remote voice actor.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I really want to go. That's one thing I want to do in the future is host panels about how to get into voice acting, especially if you're like a remote voice actor, because not everyone lives in a big city.
Yeah.
I started in a small town. You gotta go somewhere.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Oh,
So
I love that. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
I believe in a lot of people, because I also go into it at an angle of, if you don't have anyone in your corner, I'm in your corner.
Oh.
I support you.
Yeah.
And if this is what you want to do, because I've had a lot of support from my family. For some people, they might not have the same.
Totally.
And hey, if I can at least be someone that you feel like is cheering you on, I've done my job. I've done my job. My thing is, like, I don't know if I can teach, but I can sure as hell provide a lot of resources.
Heck yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on.
No problem. Thank you. I had so much fun.
Yeah,
Very
it was
skibbity
great.
toilet.
God damn it. So some background to that.
For background.
So when Gillian popped up, the very first thing I heard was Skibbity Toilet. And
Here's the thing, you guys. I thought the thing was asking me to test my microphone. So I just wanted to test my microphone. So I said the thing I usually say before I do any audition and make sure my setup is working correctly. Skibbity Toilet. I didn't know it was actually gonna go through.
oh god, so good. Oh my god. Oh, I'm like crying. Where can the lovely people find you?
Oh no, yeah. Yeah. So on the internet, on Twitter, X, Twitter to me forever.
Yep.
You can find me at Gillian Lange VA, GillianLangeva, and then I'm also on Instagram. You might see my the username Karage Claude, but I don't use that account much anymore. Instead, for Instagram, my main account is Gillian_.jpg. Those are the two socials I'm most active on,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really, you can find me a lot of the time because I'm hopping back and forth between those two a lot. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't post a lot on TikTok anymore. I sort of backed away from that.
Yeah.
Especially in recent days.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Twitter and Instagram.
Heck
Gillian
yeah.
Lange VA and Gillian_.jpg.
Heck yeah. All of those will be linked down below. You can follow me at Corky Cosplays on Instagram, Adam Corky, everywhere else. Subscribe to the Patreon. You get exclusive videos, as well as the show a day early. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Subscribe!
Subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe! Hit the like button down below. Click subscribe. Hit me with your favorite comment.
Oh my god. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.